Okay, I think we're finally live. I've had issues with going live today, so I am here. I want to answer the questions or the problems or your struggles that you're having with your creative business. I asked for a question last week if you had any questions, and I'm just going to confirm that I pull those up over here. I want to make sure I read them. Okay. Yeah, I found them. All right. So I came in here last week, I came up out here and I just told you that I came from this amazing business conference from my business coach, Jennifer Allwood, and I was so motivated and I just felt really confident and that I knew what I was doing. I mean, you know how sometimes you start new things? You attempt things and you just don't feel quite sure about yourself, whether it be wreath making or jewelry making or soap making or whatever, trying to sell and get the word out. It's sometimes you just feel like, number one, am I good enough? Or number two, do I deserve it? And number three, it's working for me. You know what I'm saying? You feel unsure about yourself. So I just want to let you know that I came back from that conference and I was pumped and very confident that I know I'm doing what I need to be doing. I helped a lot of business women last week and they were coming to me for advice and just made me feel like, oh my gosh, maybe I can maybe I am doing some things right. So I wanted to come on here and help you guys too. So last week I asked you, what were your business struggles? And that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to come through and answer and try to help as many as I can in about 30 minutes time, because I've got to, Miss Kay will be coming home from school and I don't like to work when she's comes home. All right, so here we go. The question is Miss Peggy. She's a newbie. She realizes that it takes a while to get off the ground. She's wondering if she needs an LLC to sell crafts and wreath florals. She's gotten an LLC, but she hasn't gotten a business license yet. I've only sold a few items. Okay. This is my take on the LLC. You don't need the LLC when you're first starting out. I think the only people who really should get an LLC is those who are making, large quantities of money and people really might take advantage of you, or if you're selling something that is of high risk to the general public. Does that make sense? You probably just need to get some business insurance. And check that out. I've purchased business insurance, even though I don't have a retail setting, but it's enough that it will help me. Like for example, if a wreath on the door falls off and hurts, I'm thinking my dogs, it hurts a dog or something. And even though, it might not have been my fault or whatnot, or so let's say a customer has a wreath, and even though I tell them not to put it over the cribs or anything like that, they might do it. Something might fall off and become a choking hazard or something like that. So you probably will want some type of insurance in place to cover you, lawyer fees and stuff like that. So I think I've got mine for like $350 a year, and it covers, it has good coverage. So just check your local State Farm agent. Call the person that you get your homeowner's insurance through. Ask them if they offer any type of, business insurance to, creative people. I also have coverage that if, for some reason the house went up in flames, I've got about $20,000 worth of business equipment and supplies and stuff like that I would want covered, and it doesn't all go under the same insurance of your house. So I wanted an additional coverage for that. So, but it was a business insurance package. So that to me is a foreign language. So just contact your own insurance people and ask questions, ask lots of questions. And it doesn't matter if you don't know what they're talking about. Just keep asking lots of questions until you find something that's good for you. Now she says that she hasn't gotten a business license. All right, so you need to be careful when you're in your state. Read the regulations, what they require for doing business out of your home versus a craft fair. Because I know when I got my resale license, I had it for like 2 years. And then I got contacted by the county that I also was required to have a county license. So just do your own research with your own state to make sure. Every state is different, and you just want to make sure that you don't have to, you're not going to get penalized or something like that if you didn't follow the rules from the very beginning. All right, so let's see if there's any other questions. I can't even pronounce that name. Craddock. Hey, you got a guy here, retired 63, would love to start marketing and selling some of the crafts or restore some stuff, everything from furniture to whatever. And I recently decided to not throw away the cuttings on my grapevine and started making wreaths. Had fun making them, but I'm not good at marketing. All right, so the marketing, I would really like. All right, so the marketing, this is one thing that I realized from the very beginning, and all of you lean in because this is going to really help you. You do not need to be the best at your craft. You don't need to be the best painter. You don't need to be the best wreath maker. You don't need to be the best jewelry maker, pottery, whatever. You definitely have to market yourself, and you have to be as best as you can be at marketing. And unfortunately, marketing is almost 50-50. So it's almost like 50% making your product and 50% marketing yourself. So to market yourself, to start off, the number one thing I would suggest is to make sure you have a website so that people can go and learn information about you. Your website is just your story, your brand, your calling card on the internet, so that anyone who wants to do business with you can find more information about you. So make sure you start with a website, and then the next thing you're going to want to do is try to gather emails. So you're going to want people coming to your website and opting in to join your newsletter. You could offer free tutorials, free coupons or discounts or stuff like that to get more people on your on your email list. Now, marketing, once you get people on your email list, it's very important that you continue to grow and cultivate a relationship with them. So you're basically taking a potential customer, a prospect who's cold, and you add them to your email list, and that's your opportunity to warm them up, make them feel warm and cozy about doing business with you. Try to get your personality coming across. And if it can't be written, I know a lot of people are like, well, I just cannot write anything. Then why not try something different? Why not do videos and just send a link to the videos? It doesn't have to be in newsletter form, is what I'm trying to say. Think we're creative, right? That's why we're in the industry for. So just be very creative. Don't feel like you have to do things like everybody else is doing. Don't feel like you have to do things like I'm doing or anybody else that you're following or all of the emails, okay? So just really try to make it your own. Do whatever you feel is necessary to try to get your story and your personality out to your potential customers. Because once you can do that, once your potential customers get to know you and like you and trust you and see that you're a person of integrity, they are more apt to buy from you, okay? So try that. And then the next thing would be to get a Facebook business page. Make sure it's business. You can't sell on your personal profile, so make sure you get a business page, and then you can start putting your story out there too, all right? Then the next thing would be Pinterest, would be my third thing to get going on. So hopefully it's just it's really just a culmination of a lot of things, gears working at the same time. So your website, your email list, your Facebook, your Pinterest, all of these gears moving in motion at the same time, and you would be surprised at how quickly the word will get out there, how quickly people will start to get to know your business and be willing to work with you. So just, it doesn't happen overnight. It definitely takes a little bit of time, but it shouldn't take more than a few months to get your word out there. But once people start hearing about you and you start putting out a quality product, and you have to keep your customers forefront. In other words, you want to do more to help your customers than you expect them to spend money with you. Does that make sense? So the more you start creating content and helping them, the more comfortable they want to be in the more comfortable they spend, more comfortable they feel spending money with you, and also the more they really just want to be in your space and be around you more. Okay, hopefully that helped. That was a long answer. All right, Judy, I'm 63. Oh, another 63. That must have been the number that day. And I have loved and done crafting for many years, but recently started making wreaths to sell and using Facebook and local sales sites. And I got lots of comments saying how beautiful they are, but no sales and need some help. Okay, this is probably the number one question I get asked. The number one question. All right, so let's talk about the local sales sites. All right, they are great for a few things. Right now, I'm not saying that this is going to be like this for always. Things could change, but for right now, when you go on these local sales sites, what do you see? What type of items are already out there? What kind of products are already out there? Every time I go on there, they're trying to sell used beds, or they're trying to sell, used pocketbooks and purses and shoes and grilling equipment, and everything is secondhand, isn't it? It's almost like the flea market mentality. So if you are expecting flea market prices on your handmade items, then fine, that might be a place for you. But if you are expecting to get what you're valued at, if you're considered yourself a true artisan and you are wanting to build this as a business and not a hobby, then you can't really sell effectively on those flea market sites. So I would never be able to go on and sell, say, a $200 wreath when they are expecting to get something for $50 to put on their door, or $20, even that, because they typically want things cheaper than they can find in their local Hobby Lobby or Michael's. So just keep that in mind. It's all about the location. It's all about the audience that you're wanting to attract. I am a big proponent of Etsy. Etsy has been huge in propelling my business. I didn't even first start on Etsy. I first started on a website trying to get my little name known and trying to get found in the big search engine of Google, and found it very difficult. I learned a lot about keywords, how to use keywords, where to place keywords. But even on doing all of the right things, it still was very hard to get found, in the big search engine of Google. But then somebody said, well, you should try selling on Etsy. And so I tried selling on Etsy, and then it started happening. Sales started happening. And let me tell you why. First of all, when people sell on Facebook, it's a little harder for people are not ready to buy when they come to Facebook. They're wanting to catch up with friends and family, be entertained by that local, that viral cat video. They're not necessarily expecting to pull out their credit card. So it's a little harder to sell on Facebook. However, when you go to some place like Etsy, that is a marketplace and people are already there searching with their wallet out. You just said that makes sense. And then the other thing that I learned was that I could use Etsy, who is a huge fish in the sea, right? So I got my website over here and it's just a little small minnow in the sea of online traffic. And you've got Etsy, which is huge. It's like a whale on the sea of online traffic. Whenever I could get my items in there and get found, I can then convert repeat customers to my website. So in other words, I'm using the big juice that Etsy has already and just riding its coattails. Does that make sense? So I can get found and make sales, and then I can send my business card in my boxes. I can tell them I'm ready for another custom order. Contact me here in my email list, and not necessarily going back to Etsy to get the repeat customers. So Etsy is huge. It played a huge part for me using it that way. And then if you're really trying to get the big money for your items, you need to work on your photos and prices. A lot of people will, in fact, I just answered this question. I'm like, this is sounding very familiar. I just answered this question a few days ago in my inner circle. That's why it's sounding familiar. People who go and have, the platinum cards or the disposable income they're hardworking, individuals that have the extra income to spend for decorating or your jewelry or whatever you're making. They have this system. They're busy. They don't have time to go through all of these listings, do they? So they will probably go to that where it says relevancy and switch it from relevancy search in Etsy to highest price. And what that does when people do that, it just knocks out all of the people that they felt were low quality. Okay, because they weren't asking what they should be paid. They weren't asking for the prices of their worth. So a buyer perceives that as being low quality, and why would you want to buy that? So that's a way that they search, and then that gives them a whole new place to either start shopping at the top or trickle their way down towards their budget, and then they can start seeing, what they have to offer. And if your image falls there within that search where their budget is, and it's not a clear picture, and it's not something they want to click on, and if it's, dingy, or if it's reflecting and it doesn't feel like a good quality product within your image, then they're not going to click on it and buy. So there's a lot of things that factor in, but if you're wanting the higher prices on your listings, then you need to make sure, number one, that you're selling in the place where people are ready to buy, and you are listing your items, that you're asking what you're actually worth, and you have really good quality photos. Okay, so hopefully those will help you. Judy, Rhonda, I'm selling about one item every week or every other week on Etsy. How can I generate more buyers and get more sales? All right, so use those tips that I just gave Judy, but you want to also make sure that you're being found. You have to have the right keywords. You have to use keywords that your buyers are searching on. So if you go into Etsy and use the search bar and just type in fall wreath, it's going to give you selections to choose from. It's going to say fall, rustic fall wreath, fall wreath for door, fall wreath with, I don't know, deco mesh fall wreath or whatever. It gives you the keywords. So Etsy's already telling you what you need to put in your listing. Choose those. Choose exactly what Etsy suggests. Put them in your title, So keywords all through your title. Put your main keyword that you want to rank for in the first sentence of your description. I'm not going to get too technical here, I hope, but that's called the meta description, and that is what Google uses. So it helps you to get found on Google too. So you want to make sure that keyword is in that first sentence. You want a little bit of, some of your keywords also going throughout the description. And you want to include your keyword in your tags. So make sure that you're taking those steps so that you're even found in the search results. Now, if you're saying, I get found and I get lots of views, but nobody's making the sale, then I would ask you, are you projecting a great picture out there? Oh, thank you for the hearts. Are you projecting a great image? Are your images clear, clickable, that type of thing? Are you showing them how items can be displayed or worn or accessorized? And also, are you using emotions in your descriptions? We all buy things based on emotion. So make sure your descriptions are long enough. They don't have to be a textbook, you guys, but I'm just saying minimum of 300 words of telling the buyer how this item you're selling can solve their problem. How can it make their day better? How can it make, increase and the value of their life? Or how can it, we all buy things based on emotion, especially the items we don't need, which are what we are making. We don't need them. It's not like food and water, it's not a necessity in life. So we have to give them a reason why our product would be beneficial to them in their life. All right, so let's see. I hope that answers that question. Mary Ann, it almost seems like plagiarism if we learn how to do something from you and then turn around and do tutorials or books about what we know. So for example, your curl and loop method is in your ebook, and people are teaching and getting the credit. Okay, I'm just going to teach. I am just going to talk about you have to run your business of integrity. In other words, whatever you put out there in the world is exactly what you're going to get back. Okay, so let me just say that first off. Second of all, most people, especially even me, I learned from other people. It's very rarely that anyone has an original idea these days. Okay, so just know that there are many ways to make a wreath. And there are different people teaching it. So I think a lot of times too, especially the people that I'm speaking in my inner group, they tend to have a small, not imagination, but a small mindset. How about that? In other words, they keep thinking about the groups and the all of the little wreath groups that they're in, or the jewelry groups, or the Etsy groups, or whatever. And you have to keep in mind that those groups are just a small fraction of the world. A small fraction of what's on Facebook, okay? So just know that what we offer, this little corner of my thing on Facebook, is just a sand on the world of the beach. Does that make sense? I mean, we have so much more potential. We have many more people that we've not even tapped into yet. And if you, and Mary Ann, I know you're a wreath maker, just know that we are now changing the industry. In other words, there's a jewelry industry, there's a candles, there's pottery industry, there's sewing. But have you ever when's the last time somebody really brought up a wreath making industry to you? People don't know that we even exist. You are now the perfect timing to start. So don't feel like there's already, the market saturated, or I might not get my things found. Oh, thank you, Miss Kelly. Thank you. So don't feel that, you have to keep the bigger picture open, and just know that there are so many people out there, and whatever we provide to them, we're going to provide at a different way than other wreath makers. Okay, so if, for example, I'm going to use my business buddy Damon, what he gives to his followers and customers is completely different than what I give out. You know, our personalities are different. The way we do things are different. So your customers are just going to find people that they resonate with, and that's okay. So I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you. But just know that most people are not the originators of ideas or, yeah, so I hope that helps and gives you a little bit of freedom to create. Diana, getting more traffic. I get likes and favorites, but sales are awful. I would like to sell my existing inventory and not as many custom orders. She hasn't set her goals too high, but I really, really, really want to make this a business. Okay. All right. You didn't mention what your disability was. So let me just think for a minute. I get a lot of favorites, but the sales are awful. Okay. So my question to you would be, if you're getting a lot of people viewing, are you not tapping in to the buyer's emotions? You know, make sure that you, so I'm not saying that you should say, buy from me, you know, because I have this disability. I'm saying you should tell them what you can do for them. How are you going to serve them? And let them know that you're serving them, that you are a blessing to them, you know, that type of thing. I'm telling you guys, all of you listening, please, the more you give to your customers or potential customers, the more the value is perceived of the individual you are, and the more that people know and like and trust you, and the more people know, like, and trust you, the more money people want to spend with you. So you have to make sure that you're putting your customer or your followers or your email list or whoever, always put them first. And money, you would be so surprised at how things work like that. Okay, so I don't know, Diana, if that answers your questions without me going through and looking at your pages individually to pinpoint an item or an error that you might be making. But just make sure that you're offering enough inventory to gather sales, and you have different price points. So if somebody has a budget of $100 for a wreath and you're only offering, you know, $200, they're not going to make a sale with you. It goes the other way too. If they only have $87 and you have only $45 wreaths, you're not going to get the sale because they're going to see that that's not a good value. That's not a valued product. That's just the way the human mind thinks. All right, so make sure that you're offering enough inventory. And so when you're on Etsy, I teach the women in my inner circle that you need to have a minimum of 50 items on your Etsy store. How do you store your wreaths once completed? I just store them on my towers. You know, I have these towers that I made out of shelving units, closet shelving, and I've got that on my blog. If you just search wreath tower, and I have 3 of those in the house, and then I also hang them in the garage. Hope that helps. Janelle, is that how you say your name? All right, so let's see. Moving on. All right, I have a problem with selling. People save my items on their favorites in the Etsy shop. All right, so Michelle, I've already gone through, hopefully just go back and listen to this video. I've already gone through tons of Etsy tips. People love my piece, but complain they're too expensive. Then you're not, Shelby, you haven't found your right audience. You haven't tapped in to the people who will spend the money, okay? And let me just say, the people who will spend money for an expensive wreath, even in my area, are very few. So I would never be able to make a living selling to people just in my area. There's not enough people here. You've got to get out there on Etsy, get out there in the world, a website, you know, get out there and get more eyes on your products. Regina, is there another place to go other than Etsy? For handmade items, I think you can try Amazon Marketplace, but that I found that very hard to figure out, and it didn't seem worth it because it had a hard time with the shipping, setting up shipping. It seemed like it wanted to ship it all over the world for a small fraction, and for me, because I have a big wreath. Now, if it were jewelry, that'd probably be different, or a t-shirt or something like that. But you could try Amazon Marketplace would be another thing. All right, so let's see. The junk drawer, doing pretty good this week, just finding more minutes in the day with all the littles. Oh, she wants to do a split screen. Yeah, that'd be fun. Time management is very hard for all of us. No matter what stage of the game you are in your business, you always feel like that there are things that you need to accomplish, things that you haven't done. The more that you add that we're working outside of our homes, and we have to deal with pets, and we have to deal with children, and people being on vacation, and things like that. We have to really train ourselves to know that we are going into business mode. So I always set boundaries for myself. I start work when I would typically start work if I were being paid by a boss. I make sure that the quality that I put out is exactly what I would give if I were being paid by a boss. I turn the phone off. I don't check on social media. I don't answer emails except for specific times of the day. So you have to set your boundaries, and then you have to put your business and treat it as if it is a business and not a hobby. Once you start treating your business as a business, people and your family and your friends will start respecting you that it is a business, and they will stop calling you for lunch in the middle of the day when you got to work, So it does take a little bit of time to have that mind shift for your friends and family, but it does happen. All right, so Beverly. All right, Trisha, I missed one. Getting ready to have thumb surgery, won't be able to craft for 3 months. Worried about her business getting off the ground. All right, Trisha. So now, okay, this is a prime example of why I'm a huge proponent of passive income. And if any of you are not familiar with what that means, so passive income is basically a way to make money without showing up physically for work. So she's saying that she can't work because she's got to have hand surgery. So before things like this happen, try to position your business in a way that it will still be making money even when you're not there. So this is what I would propose for you, Trisha, now that you haven't gotten to that point yet and you need it. I'm telling you right now, you're going to need it. So start researching, start thinking about what can you teach people in your sleep? How can you sell that knowledge? Start researching how to write ebooks, that type of thing. Also, this is the perfect time to be learning. So anytime that business is slow, or you're incapacitated for a short amount of time, research how to work Pinterest, how to maximize Instagram followers, how to do Facebook Live videos or whatever, so you can still use this downtime to grow and learn the business and the marketing aspects of it, even though you're not actually producing. But I just encourage all of you that are in business to think about what you can do to start making money with selling your knowledge through digital products. Some of you have huge followers on Facebook, and you might not even have a website yet. So you might think, what business can I reach out to and start promoting their products? If you are an influencer in your industry, and when I mean influencer, I mean you do something on Facebook Live and people ask you, where did you get that? Where did you get this? How did you do that? How did you do this? Right then, when people are asking you questions, that you are an influencer. You influence the way people spend their money, and businesses and corporations love that. They would rather most of them would rather deal with people like us helping to spread the word for their products than put a commercial on television. All right, so especially depending on the company, but don't be afraid to reach out to brands and products and see how you can partner and collaborate with them to as another means of revenue. So there's always things that you could be doing. Trisha, I know that's not a lot of help right now, and I do pray that your surgery goes well and you have a very quick recovery. Beverly, I would like to start a craft business with the wreaths and centerpieces I make, but like others, not sure how to start. She got her EIN number. So I would open up an Etsy shop. That was really the first thing I would do, and start putting tons of items in there, making sure you have great titles and keywords and pictures, everything I mentioned in the video earlier. All right, so Rebecca, I have always wanted to take my crafting and make a business out of it, but never seem to be able to appropriately prove my crafts. I don't think she meant the word prove, and right now I can't think of what she's saying. Okay, so let me move on. Charlene, I'm not sure about shipping. Okay, oh gosh, here we go, a shipping wreath. You need to contact FedEx or UPS and tell them the situation, call somebody and get them on the phone, set up a business account with these companies, tell them how much you ship, where you're going to be shipping from, what the average size of your boxes are, and how much they weigh, and they usually help small businesses out. I know FedEx does for me, gives me a discount on my shipping, and I don't even ship half as what I used to. So do that. Also, if you partner with Etsy, Etsy has some great shipping features on there. So hopefully that will help. Make sure you're putting that box, your wreaths, in the smallest boxes possible. All right. So Holly is saying that her Etsy shop is amazing, but the Facebook business is dead. Okay, so Holly, Facebook, let me think. All right, so when you're doing Facebook, you first of all need to have a business page. You need to be posting a minimum, okay, the absolute bare minimum is once a day. Then if you're really serious about growing your Facebook page, the minimum really should be 4 times a day. Okay, but don't go like one day go without you not posting on your Facebook page. Make sure that you're getting in front of your customers. Do Facebook live videos. Your Facebook live videos get more reach than any other post that you put on Facebook. So make sure that you're putting out Facebook lives, showing you how you create your product, answering questions your customers might have, showing why your product is of high quality, opening up things that you get when you're shopping, or taking the Facebook Live with you while you've shopped. I've done that a time or two. So putting out there your story and your brand and your word, showing up for Facebook, letting people get to know the real you. It's amazing that I see some Facebook pages and they don't even have a real your face out there. So they don't even see the person that they're buying from. Let them get to know you, know, like, and trust. Remember, that's what makes sales. And constantly posting out there, engaging questions to get interaction from your Facebook page. And let's see if I think that's it. All of those things have really, really helped with my Facebook page. Don't make your Facebook page. This is, again, I go back to what is the success for a business. It's helping other people, inspiring other people, more so than you expect to get paid. So when you start opening your Facebook page as a way for people to get inspiration, a way for people to get motivated and encouraged, a way for people to come and get ideas, that's when your Facebook page will really start to take off, and that's when the money will actually start to happen for you. All right, Lisa. Not feeling guilty for charging. All right, so we as women have, I'm looking for my daughter who might be coming home soon, and I got to end the video then. We as women have a very hard time of asking for what we're worth. A man typically doesn't care about that. He's like, I spent this and this is what I'm going to get out of it. You know, women tend to feel more emotions in it. And what we have to do is, when we're pricing our items, is take that emotion out. Don't price items based on what you can afford. Don't base items on what your neighbors can afford. You come up with a formula and then you stick to it. So you go buy your stuff and you put the numbers in your spreadsheet or a formula, and that spits out a retail price, and you just ask for it. And then you make sure that you're asking and finding in an audience where people are willing to pay. So go to Etsy, and that's a great place to start. Use Pinterest to drive traffic to your Etsy shop. It all, you know, you've got to stop that guilty feeling. And this is one thing that you have to think about is, if this is a full-time business for you, what do you expect to get out of it? I expect to get a full-time paycheck. I expect to be able to pay my mortgage. I expect to save for vacations, and I expect to put food on the table. I expect some security out of my job. So if something were to happen, you know, with my husband's income or something like that, you know, you have to just take a hard look at what you expect out of your business, and then just be prepared and accept the fact that this is a business and this isn't a hobby, and you expect to get prices like a business would. Does that make sense? I hope that helps you, Lisa. Man, sometimes I feel like I'm on a soapbox and like blah, 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 blah. And I don't mean to be like that. I don't mean to be like that. I'm just trying to let you know that I get you. I've been there. I understand your struggles. When I first started out, I mean, I was, you know, my goal was to sell 2 wreaths. And then, you know, so I've been there, and it was a struggle with the shipping and how to ship it, and where to get more traffic to my Etsy shop. I mean, I have been there through this all with you guys. I've already walked through the muck. So please just take this as I'm trying to give back a little bit to you, let you know what's worked with me, walking through the weeds of it, and just know that I don't mean to ever be preaching a sermon by any means. Just trying to give a little bit of inspiration, some knowledge. And listen, you guys are going to listen to some of these videos, and a lot of it's going to be over your heads. You're going to be like, okay, I just wanted to learn how to put the wreath in the box. You know what I'm saying? Not search engine optimization or whatever I might say. But the more you listen, the more things will settle into your head. And two, we come through our business at different levels, you know, at different stages. We are starting out, some of us, and some of us we are more established, and those who are more established pick up different tips that I say than those who are just starting out. So just know that everybody can listen to this video and get different information out of it. Oh, you're not preachy. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. I've got a couple more that I can get to. All right, Christina, go. She can't sell anything on Etsy. She's doing great on Facebook. Christina, I bet you if I go to your Etsy page, you won't have 50 plus items in it, will you? How many items are you selling? That is very important. Etsy needs to see that you are that you are there in it and you're an actual business. They don't favor too well on those wishy-washy sellers. All right, so Tanya, she's made 5 wreaths, and I'm new to wreath making, and I feel they turned out great. My husband has and will be making homemade signs, and I've posted all on our Facebook and our local marketplace, and not one offer to buy my wreaths. My husband's sign has piqued more interest. Well, there you go. If your husband's signs are piquing interest, I would think that you would maybe want to go with some of that. Okay. Your wreaths might be something that comes along later, the sales. But I always go with what's working. I don't try to really analyze things that don't work. So, I mean, I've done things, I've promoted products, and I've, launched products that didn't quite go the way I wanted, but something over here seems to really be working. Well, I'll just put all my effort into that. So sometimes it's not good to really analyze what's not working, but instead put your time and energy in what already is. I think that is going to be a key comment for some of you in here. I just, all of a sudden, I got a feeling from God that that was definitely something somebody's been waiting to hear about, okay? So don't feel like if something's broke that you should keep putting all of your energy into it. You know, if there's a part of your business that's working, focus more on that. If you're killing it on Instagram and you can't get Facebook going, keep going with Instagram, okay? So just sometimes we get stuck in trying to make everything work perfectly, and it never, you know, it's hard to have that happen. All right, so no one to offer. Okay, so then she created a webpage and a blog, all right, over a year ago, and it covers faith, family, food, and fun. And she's disappointed that I only have 51 likes and 25 followers after a year. So I just turned my page into an LLC, and she's got a big question. I have my business on Pinterest and Twitter. Okay, so let me go back to your blog. How often are you adding to that blog? I would say that if you're not adding to it on a regular basis, then it is not going to get the traffic that you need. For every blog, you guys, I'm teaching about blogging this month in my inner circle. So if any of you are interested in on blogging and using blogging as an additional income for your business, join me in my inner circle. But basically, you have to be putting out there, consistently. When I first started my blog, I was like maybe 3 times a year. And so the more I learned about blogging, what I realized is that I need to be putting out stuff consistently. So I met a woman at a blogging conference who is making 6 figures a month with a blog. 6 figures a month. All right. So blogging is definitely an income generator. But my tip would be for you to make sure that you have your SEO. Your keywords have got to be on your pictures, your titles, your tags of your posts. You've got to be writing things that are relevant, that your audience is going to be interested in. The majority of the people who come to my blog are from Pinterest. So you've got to have your Pinterest game going. Now, Pinterest is the one social media. I don't know why they call it social media, because I'm really not social on there. And I don't get that people are really social on there. They might comment and say they like an image or a blog post or something, but they don't really get to interact very much with me. Does that make sense? I don't know why they call it social media, but they just do. It's more a search engine. So once you start accepting that Pinterest is just a search engine, you start treating it differently. So you start putting keywords in your pins, keywords in your boards, pinning on a daily basis, multiple pins, and making sure, again, what I'm saying, you want to give more content to the followers on Pinterest than what you're trying to sell. So set up Pinterest boards that are relevant to your customers. I don't sell any recipes, or, I don't have any recipes, that I'm really trying to promote. I still have a holiday recipe board on my Pinterest because I'm all about the holidays. And if people come to my holiday Pinterest board, they might switch over and find my holiday wreaths. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure that your Pinterest boards are relevant to your customers, and there's many of them. So 80% of what you're pinning on Pinterest should be about your followers, and only 20% of what you pin should be actually trying to sell or send traffic back to your blog. Going back to Pinterest, if you have one blog post, you should be creating multiple pins to put on Pinterest. So if I have one blog and I have, let's say, one pin and 10 boards I could put it on, that's 30 ways that pin is going to be shared just from my board, my boards, right? My account. And then if I create a second image of the same post, but a different image, and put it out there within my 10 boards, that's more, right? That's more ways. I don't know. I might have done the math wrong on that one. But what I'm trying to get at is that create a couple of pins and put them out on multiple boards, and that way you're in essence creating 20 to 30 pins for one blog post, and that is how you get significant traffic back to your blog. So make sure that you're also writing what people are interested in. Go to your Google Analytics and check to see what your top 5 blog posts were for last year, and then what can you do based on that. So if your blog post was really, the top 5 were your food or your recipes, then you know that your followers are interested in food and recipes, and you want to do more of that. Okay, so just do more of what they're already liking on Google Analytics. Make sure you're gathering emails, not just by saying sign up to join my newsletter, but instead sign up and get this free 5-page recipe book on how to make cupcakes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So just give them something for free and they will give you their email address a little bit more freely. I think that answers your question. I hope that answers your question, Tanya, but that's awesome that you're a husband and wife team. So it could be that you really promote his signs, and then in a roundabout way, people could also find his wreaths, because not everybody who finds signs wants to put them in a wreath. Some want to hang them over a door, over a mirror, or, you know, something like that. So hopefully that will help you. All right, this will be the last one. All right, I am finding that shipping is killing me. Oh, we've already gone through shipping. All right, average wreath weighing. Wait. An average wreath weighing 4 pounds and the box is costing you $45? Oh no, sweetie, Teresa. You need to find cheaper boxes than that. My boxes are like literally $3, if that. So where are you buying your boxes? Oh wait, maybe she's talking about the shipping. Okay, I think she's talking about the shipping, $45 to ship. I've already talked about shipping earlier in the video. Check with get business accounts, check with the FedEx, and but listen, because what's cheaper for me isn't necessarily cheaper for somebody, say in, Dallas. It's all based on location. So check with your the carriers, create business accounts with them, call your rep, tell them what you need and what you're looking for, and then that will help you, because could be if you're trying to use FedEx and then UPS is cheaper, or if you're trying to ship it through the mail, which to me is always cheaper. No matter what I try to do, I can't get it for me. So what works for somebody isn't necessarily going to work for everybody, but you have to do your own research. All right, so I think that's it. How can you join your inner circle? Let's see if I can put that on here. All right, so let's see. Roseanne, you need a mentor. Consider me. Hey, I got my first craft show for a small town. All right, so how do I display? Go to my Pinterest at Southern Charm Wreaths, and there is a board that I have for craft show displays. And then also go to my blog and search on craft shows. There are craft fairs, something like that on my blog. I've got articles on helping you with your craft fairs. All right, so let's see. Thanks, Roseanne. So Melissa's asking the question if she has a board like Christmas wreath, snowman wreath, and put the pin on both. Okay, so she's asking if she has a snowman wreath. I would be putting that on a holiday decorating board. I'd be putting that on a Christmas wreath board. I'd be putting that on a snowman theme. Fill in, that snowman theme needs to be everything snowman, everything, not just your own stuff. All of these boards. You would put your pin on just a board for nothing but your wreaths. What else could you, winter decorating would be another board you could create. So I always, when I come up with a new product, I'm like, okay, now I need to create some boards that this product falls into. Does that make sense? So that I can occasionally pin into that board with it. All right, what's the best way to draw customers in on Instagram? Okay, I'm getting ready to have an Instagram training in the group, in my inner circle group. Somebody asked about that. It won't be a full length kind of thing, but it's tips. And one of the tips that I learned, number one, is that you have to be posting no matter what social media it is. It's got to be regular. So once a day or at least 4 times a week, be posting on Instagram. Use your hashtags to try to get found. That's how people get found on Instagram. Use the stories. The stories is a great way for people to get to know you. I kind of suck at that, but I'm trying to get better. Use your stories for people to get to know you. And then if you wait to switch your Instagram from personal to business, it seems like right now Instagram is favoring personal Instagram accounts. So if you are, I'm thinking also of switching back to personal for a little while until I can get my likes up or my followers up. So using the hashtags, posting regularly, and don't feel like it has to be magazine quality pictures, okay? I mean, it does have to be good pictures, but I know I go to Instagram accounts and it's just like there's no way that their reality would ever fit into my reality. Does that make sense? And that's not necessarily the people I'm trying to gather anyway. So just don't feel like because your home isn't staged like a professional, you know, or something like that, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't also share on Instagram. So I don't know, some people get caught up with that. I hope that helps. Michelle. Yes, Kelly, Pinterest is definitely the search engine of the new age, isn't it? What about those potential customers that criticize our pricing for our reasons, say this cost is a lot? All right, so if you're in this for a business, you are always trying to get the best prices, and they need to understand that. It sounds to me like, number one, you might not have shown the value some way, somehow in your items, okay, in your wreaths. So once they start realizing the quality and the value, they are more likely to pay. Now, I will also have people that say, that's expensive, you know, that's highway robbery or whatever, but you've just got to understand that that might be one person out of a lot. And typically those people, as soon as I put a wreath out there and they'll say it's expensive, it sells within minutes. All right. So don't listen to those people. Just know that you're pricing your value, and you need to tap into the audience of where they're willing to spend it. Okay. So find your audience and just know that you just got to value yourself. If people aren't occasionally saying you're too expensive, then you're not priced high enough, okay? So just keep that in mind. There should always be some people who say that's too expensive. Yep, sometimes we have to learn before we can crawl, exactly. Oh, good. So Francie's already changed her profile picture to a picture of herself. If things are not selling on Etsy, okay, so this will be the last question. Cindy's saying, if things don't sell on Etsy, do you redo them? It really depends on where you're at in your business. So when I was first starting out and I needed the money, I'm all about cash, you guys, no credit. So I started the business on cash, and I still have never charged anything. So if I if I created some items and they didn't sell, and I needed the money that I tied up in those items to go get new items, new seasonal products or something like that my money was still tied up, I would offer them to my friends and family at a deep, deep discount. I would say, okay, I will sell these to you at cost plus $20. So you feel like you're still getting some money, right? A little bit of a profit, but you're getting your investment back in those products so that you could take that money and go with it and buy the next seasonal products. And then I would not response. What am I trying to say here? So in exchange for their deep discounted price, they would then give me a good review on Etsy. All right. So what happens here is you're helping them and they're helping you. So you're giving them a coupon code that they can get a really deep discount on, and then they come back and leave you a review. So it shows on Etsy that you made a sale and you've got a good review, and you've got the money that you could roll cash flow in to the next season or month or whatever. And now when I get to the point where things haven't sold, you could put them on sale, like, 20% off, or and email out your list. That's why it's very important to have email lists. Email out your list that you've got a sale and you're putting it at 20% off. And then what was I going to say? I'm starting to get tired here. All right, so you're going to put it on sale. It's 20% off to try to generate sales that way. And then also just know that I never want to completely sell out of a seasonal wreath. So if I have a lot of fall wreaths, I might put a sale. But if I have 2 left, I'm okay with that, because there are a lot of early shoppers. Now, I'll probably sell fall wreaths for Christmas. People have already started buying Christmas wreaths, and people have already started asking me about spring. You'll be surprised during the year when people actually go on Etsy and do the shopping. So just, it's okay to have some that carry forward, because people, like right now, are buying Christmas. So I'm glad I had 5 Christmas wreaths left over from last year, because I've already got the inventory there for the current buyers. So just know that, and I didn't have to rush to get something out there, or wait for supplies to come to the local stores and then make something. So having some is okay. I hope that helps. All right, you guys. I enjoyed this. I hope you got some use out of it. If you did, please share it. That is just like a virtual hug to me, and it tells me that I'm giving the content that you're looking for. And I'll be back in here later this week. I'm gonna definitely do something DIY, I promise. And then let me know if you have any questions, and I'll come back. And I can't believe it, I went through all of those questions, you guys. So I don't want to see, she didn't answer my question. I'll have to refer everybody to this video. So I hope this helps, okay? So I really hope this helps. Just know you're a blessing to me, and I'm really trying to be a blessing to you too. And have a blessed day.